Bir Ahmed from Digantra. Sir, good morning and thank you for speaking to NewsX. Of course, we've been talking about the time they've spent in space, but prior to going to space itself, they go through a very grueling training, which also involves tuning their mindset to being in space, to being away from Earth. So they are trained for months at end, also psychologically. But what do you think could have been the psychological impact of this entire ordeal? Because imagine you're preparing for a mission that's just 8 days long, and suddenly then your entire capsule, the one that you're supposed to return in, has significant problems. Eventually the Boeing Starliner was brought back to Earth without the astronauts because of the glitches over there. And what could have gone through their minds at that point of time? What was the psychological impact do you think they had?
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. I think the astronaut training that happens on ground is, extremely crucial and fairly detailed. While as engineers, we would, ensure that the entire spacecraft is built to its utmost reliability. While we are training when the astronauts are being trained, I think a lot of edge cases are tested, as we like to call it in engineering, where the astronauts are not only trained for the expected sort of situations, but also for surprises. So I think that training would have accounted most likely the edge cases of a spacecraft not being able to return and them staying for the extended time, both in terms of physical endurance on the ISS, as well as keeping their mind passionate and emotionally healthy at the International Space Station. But we would have to understand that International Space Station is at a place where it's 400 kilometers above us. That's essentially like 40 or 50 Mount Everest, between us and the International Space Station. So think of the impact as, someone who would feel the emotional impact while they're climbing a mountain. It would be maybe 50 times much intense. And in situations like this, where a 8 days mission is essentially extended to 9 months, as you put it. And why did this happen? Just because a 1 hour delay in the docking procedure, essentially the attaching procedure between the two spacecrafts, and that sort of helps us understand the kind of emphasis reliability has in space sector. So I think although the astronauts might have been taken aback by not returning on time, but I think they would also have an emotional safety net that there are alternative options that are available for them, and it was not a one-way street, and there were multiple streets to come back home. I think that's a sort of emotional safety that they had.
We also have with us Lieutenant General A.K. Butch, the Director General of the Indian Space Association. Sir, before I come across to you, I in fact have something to show our viewers